I was picking up my son Mason from wrestling practice when another parent texted me. Something's wrong. Coach won't let anyone leave. Kids are passing out. I ran toward the field house, my sneakers slapping against the pavement as panic surged through my chest. My heart stopped when I saw chains wrapped through the door handles, thick metal links securing every entrance. Through the small window, I could see Coach Richards standing in the center of the room, arms crossed, watching his 4 kids lay motionless on the mats like discarded dolls. Mason was on his hands and knees, his small frame trembling with effort. His inhaler sat on a bench 20 feet away, impossibly far from where he knelt, gasping. He was turning gray, his chest heaving as he struggled to pull air into his constricted lungs. The sight of my child suffocating while I stood helpless outside sent ice through my veins. I pounded on the door with both fists, the metal rattling but not budging. "Open this door. Let them out." Richards just stared at me with complete contempt, his jaw set in stubborn defiance. Another parent, Sarah, started filming through the window while I screamed for him to open the door, my voice going hoarse. Richards finally walked over, but didn't unlock it. He pressed his face close to the glass, so close I could see the cold determination in his eyes. Practice ends at 6. Parents who interrupt my conditioning sessions are teaching their kids to be quitters. It was only 5:15. 45 minutes left. 45 minutes my son didn't have. My son needs his inhaler. I screamed, slamming my palms against the glass until they stung. "He has asthma. Open this door right now." Richards shook his head slowly, deliberately, and walked back to blow his whistle. The shrill sound pierced through the door. The kids who could stand struggled to their feet, swaying and disoriented. Mason managed to get to his knees, but couldn't stand. His lips were turning blue, that terrifying color that meant oxygen deprivation. Sarah called 911 while I ran around the building, testing every exit with increasingly desperate hands. Every single door was chained shut from the inside. 6 doors, 23 kids trapped inside like animals in a cage. When police arrived, Officer Davis looked through the window and immediately radioed for bolt cutters and an ambulance. Her face went pale. Her partner started banging on the door with his baton, the metallic clanging echoing across the parking lot. That's when Richards walked over to where Mason was struggling and deliberately kicked his inhaler across the room. It skidded under the bleachers with a plastic clatter. Something inside me broke. I started screaming, pure rage and terror mixed together in sounds I didn't recognize as my own voice. More emergency responders arrived within minutes. The fire chief took one look at the situation and made the call to use a battering ram. For firefighters lined up, their faces grim with determination, and started slamming it against the door frame. Boom, boom, boom. Each impact reverberated through my bones. 6 hits before the frame splintered. The doors burst open with a crack of splitting wood, and paramedics rushed inside, their equipment clattering. They went to Mason first. His breathing had that horrible wheezing sound that meant his airways were closing, the sound every asthma parent dreads. One paramedic retrieved his inhaler from under the bleachers while another got an oxygen mask on him, speaking in calm, professional tones. 2 other kids were seizing on the mats, their bodies convulsing. Another had gone completely unresponsive, lying too still. I watched Officer Davis put Richards in handcuffs while he argued loudly that he was conducting legitimate training, that these kids are just soft, that their parents had made them weak. His voice was steady. Convinced of his righteousness, even his children were loaded onto stretchers around him. The ambulances loaded the 3 most critical cases. I climbed in with Mason, who was conscious now, but still struggling to breathe. Each inhale a visible effort. His eyes found mine, wide and frightened, and I could see the terror there. Not just from the physical distress, but from whatever had happened in that room before we arrived. From being trapped and helpless while his coach watched him suffocate. What happened next changed everything about how I understood the people we trust with our children.